The 5th annual Extra Life Video Game Marathon is coming up on October 20th, 2012. Now it's time for gamers to make a difference. Extra Life is just like a run or a walk or a bike event, except you never have to leave the comfort of your own living room. Just sign up online at extra-life.org to register. On October 20th at 8 a.m., you play any games you want for 24 hours. Find out more and sign up to play online at extra-life.org. Play games, heal kids. Extra Life.
Hey, I watched that NBC show Revolution, too. That one that's like post-apocalyptic.
I have a problem with that phrase.
Okay. All right.
Because if it's post-apocalyptic, everyone's dead.
Well, kinda. Okay. Well, I mean,
it's the apocalypse.
All right. So it's a semantical difference, and it's probably my fault for referencing it that way. But
no, it gets referenced like all the time.
Yeah. So, I guess the electricity goes off like everything.
Oh, yeah, I've heard a little bit about it. It sounds pretty cool.
And it is kind of cool. Like, the first couple of episodes were kind of weird. But, okay, you know that I always have some kind of little stupid, quirky, weird problem with, like, everything, right? How do all these people have perfect hair?
Draw your sword, knock your arrows, and ready your spellbook. It's time for another episode of The Gamesmen. What role will you play?
Greetings, guys, gals, and guildies. Welcome to episode 87 of The Gamesmen. This is the show for the week of October the 1st, 2012. I am Steve Conger, also known as JSS Lyfeliek on basically every gaming service imaginable. And, we got a little bit of a different feel to the show this week. No RPG, but we do have a packed time here for you in episode 87. But obviously, I'm not by myself. Who else would be here? Local hero, Mr. Daniel Knappman, Hardlydan.
Hey, man.
You are the local star. You are Barnstaple's finest.
Yeah, I guess so. or Barnstaple.
Yeah, well, I'm not British. So you are completely a local celebrity, aren't you?
Well, nearly, yeah. Once the article's done.
You were the hero of Devon.
Yeah. I've just been chatting to a reporter for the local paper and talking about Extra Life.
Yeah, cool.
Pick that up, see if I can get some people to put their hands in their pockets.
So you contacted them. How did that whole thing come about?
Well, I linked my Gmail account to the Extra Life page and didn't bother actually unchecking any email addresses whatsoever, and just spammed everyone that's ever sent me an email. I've sent an email, and yeah, one got sent to them. One of my Twitter friends, turns out he's the editor of the paper. He got in contact with me and said, "Do you want to be in the paper?"
Sweet.
All right
then. That's pretty cool. So how did it go?
Yeah, it was fine. She called me at like 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning. Well, I was asleep, didn't even hear the call. And finally got an email around about lunchtime, so I phoned her back up, and I think it was about 15, 20 minutes chatting away about playing games. So, awesome. Yeah, it was easy.
Awesome. So, is it going to be an online-only thing? Is it going to actually get printed in black and white?
Yeah, it's going to be, I assume it's going to be proper printed with a photograph, but, I'll know on Thursday, I guess.
Because I totally want to link to that, because I'm going to put it up on the site so it's there forever.
Yeah, well, if it's not on the website, then I shall take a photograph of the article and send it to you.
Please tell me you gave a thumbs up in the picture.
I haven't had the photo taken yet, but I'm thinking about wearing.
Oh, you got to give a thumbs up, man.
Well, I'm thinking about wearing my Extra Life T-shirt, and shame I don't have like a Gamesman cap or something I could put on.
That's all right. You can you can put it up on your wall and just do the old thumbs up and point backward over your shoulder.
Well, I was planning on having the logo on the screen.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Yeah, cool. Excellent.
Possibly the Extra Life one as well, because obviously that's the main reason for it.
I'm sure you talked about Snuggle Truck.
Yeah, I mentioned that. She hadn't a clue what I was talking about.
Yeah, she probably looked like, what is wrong with this guy?
yeah. I told her to Google it, so hopefully she'll, I don't know, maybe send some mental help.
I would assume she knew what Google was, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about
that. So what else is going on?
Well, not a huge amount. Playing a few games. Finally got around to playing Black Mesa. Loving it.
Cool.
I don't want to make this sound like faint praise, but it was exactly how I remembered Half-Life. And whenever I remember games, I always remember them looking a hell of a lot better than they actually did.
Yeah.
Then you go back to them and think, actually, this thing looks terrible.
Well, isn't it almost like the Transformers Cybertron series? Like, this is the way that I remember G1 Transformers cartoons, and they're totally not that way. Like, they're campy and corny.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks great. It looks good on my rig, which isn't saying much. But yeah, I can't quite run it on max settings, but it's pretty nice. Yeah, it's great going around. The controls feel a little bit dated, but then I guess they are. But yeah, it's really good. Well worth checking out, especially whilst the first, I think, third or 2/3 of it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, well worth having a look at.
Oh, man, for me, my day off the other day, it was a great day off first, right? Like, I wake up in the morning and I see the news that the official NFL referees are back, because I was totally boycotting the NFL because it was the classic labor versus management struggle, right? Like, according to me, they're on strike, and that going into that stadium is a picket line, and people were just crossing it like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not about how much they make. It's about, this is a guy who obviously is worth what they're paying him, and now they don't want to pay him that anymore. But more than that, it was about their retirement. They wanted to switch him over, and they would have lost a ton on their retirement, But I finally get to watch football again. I can't wait. Oh, I couldn't take it. I haven't watched the Steelers game yet, and I want to really get back into football and stuff. I just refuse to give them the TV ratings because it's really where they make all their money,
Yeah. Well, good for you for sticking to your guns.
Yeah. Believe me, it killed me for a while, but I'm glad that they're back. But yeah, man, I went to breakfast with my dad early in the morning, put on probably about 3 pounds, and then drove out to the gym and worked out, and then went and got my hair cut, which I probably lost about 5 pounds of hair off the top of my head. So I think I was doing pretty good. I was like in the -2 pound range there. So, oh, dude, I had a thatched roof on my head. It was awful. Oh, I looked like nobody owned me. It was terrible. But, throughout the day a little bit, I had a chance to kind of get back into the last story a bit, like I talked about last week. And the game keeps getting better, but I'm starting to realize that there are parts of that game that are just fundamentally broken.
Oh, man.
But it doesn't make it really any worse for wear, I don't think. Like, how when you're playing an action RPG and you sort of do a special move or you do some kind of, some kind of function of the battle system where you need to be automatically swinging the camera around as it's going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't want to spin, and then you're getting wailed away on from behind. And, it doesn't really hurt you too much in the long run, I don't think. But still, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I mean, I think I spent probably half of my total playtime in Xenoblade rotating the camera, as I was doing stuff. But, I don't know. But the game is still really good, and it's amazing how great the faces look. Like the facial modeling and the textures in the faces look really, really good for that hardware.
Cool.
Yeah, kind of awesome. Well, like I alluded to before, we got a little bit of different show. We just have a little bit of opening banter here, but in a second we're going to get into an interview. I had a chance this week to sit down with my contact down at Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. And then, Dan, you and I are going to come back. We got a bunch of community correspondence after that. I put the call out to the various social networks, and we got some email and things like that. So then we're going to wrap everything up with your input. So, all right, Dan, let's get right into the interview. Okay, so I'm here bringing on to the show a special guest of sorts. We have Amanda Olar, who is a development associate with the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh Foundation. And, of course, it is getting to be crunch time for Extra Life. So, Amanda, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be able to talk to you about Extra Life. It's like my favorite topic right now, so.
Yeah, it is pretty hot at the moment, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Absolutely. Actually, I just got back from the Children's Miracle Network annual meeting in Orlando, and it's one of the biggest topics right now nationwide with Children's Miracle Network, so everybody's getting on board.
Excellent. Yeah, it's definitely snowballed a bit over the past few years.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just begin at the beginning. Just who is Amanda Olar? How did you get to, how did you get to where you're at and doing what you're doing?
Sure, absolutely. It's an unusual pathway, I guess, to fundraising, but I was studying neuroscience in undergrad at Allegheny College, and I was pre-med, and I did a lot of community service work in school, and I decided not to go to medical school, but to work in the nonprofit sector for now and try to have an impact that way. So in 2011, I started working at Children's Hospital Pittsburgh Foundation with the annual giving team. So that entails working with Children's Miracle Network hospitals for programs just like Extra Life, along with a few others, as well as working with partners such as Walmart, Sam's Club, Dairy Queen, pretty much anywhere you would see a miracle balloon. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but
yes,
yeah. Any one of those sponsors we also work with for fundraising campaigns through Children's Miracle Network. So they are a huge help in terms of making those relationships and kind of getting new and innovative ways to bring money into the hospital. So we are the local beneficiary of all of those fundraising efforts.
It's probably just as, if not more, time consuming than med school and beyond.
It's a different kind of work, but it definitely, there's always more to do. And I think that's one of the great things with fundraising for such a great cause. You always feel like, it's okay to stay a little late some days and to go to events on weekends and to do these things because, who doesn't want to help kids that are in the hospital? It's just, a different kind of work than medical school.
Well, yeah, and probably much more rewarding spiritually than probably financially as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the people that work in nonprofit have a definite connection to the cause, and it's what keeps you going and working the hours. So, yeah. So it's something you got to be passionate about, but, it's something I love, so.
Well, so when your path kind of forked there, how did you come to get involved with the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh and Children's Miracle Network?
Sure. I was applying for development positions throughout the city. Children's was one that was hiring and kind of going through some new management, and they had a lot of positions open. And so I ended up working. I started in February of 2011, and once I got onto, into the foundation, onto the annual giving team, I kind of naturally progressed towards Children's Miracle Network because it's just such a great support of colleagues nationwide and regionally that are going through the same fundraising, kind of trials and tribulations, as well as the successes with you. So it's something that is so helpful, because you're not really competing. You're in different cities and you're going after different people to fundraise for you. But it's great to have that, your colleagues nationwide to help you out. And there's so many programs and, great things going on at Children's Miracle Network nationally that it was an easy, pathway for me to take. And I felt natural in going that way. So I do, other things as well for the hospital. In my position, they're, grant writing, and you kind of become a jack of all trades in fundraising.
I believe that. I do believe
event planning, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of other things, but CMN is incredible. They're so great to work for and work with.
So what's a typical workday in the life of Amanda Olar consist of?
We spend, I would say, probably half of the time, maybe a little bit more, in the office. Working with the hospital, finding out what, the hospital's needs are and, what we're going to go out there and fundraise for, and making connections and relationships with people in this city. And, the other half of the time is building those relationships, working with the Walmarts and the Sam's Clubs and the local corporations and organizations that, are really out there in the community speaking on your behalf and raising money for you. So it's really a great mixture of, being in the office, a typical office job where, checking emails and doing paperwork and that kind of thing. But then you also, we're connected to the hospital. So you visit with patients and families, and you, talk to physicians and nurses and see what their needs are. And then you also get to kind of go out in the community and encourage and try to inspire people to want to raise on your behalf for this great organization. So it's never a boring day in the office, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're probably, it would seem at least that you're rolling your sleeves up and getting your hands dirty on both ends.
Yeah, you can't be afraid to ask. I think that's the most important thing with fundraising. A lot of research has been put into, the number one reason people do not give to an organization is because they were not asked. And so I think we've kind of taken that and ran with it at Children's. We want to make sure that we leave no leaf unturned.
Yeah.
We're kind of getting out there in the community and trying to, touch as many people as possible with this mission. So.
Well, and speaking of, a lot of folks may really have no idea, and probably, I'd have to admit, myself included, but exactly what does Children's Miracle Network and the folks at local children's hospitals, nationwide do exactly for these brave young kids?
At Children's in Pittsburgh here, we saw over 1 million patients throughout last year. And, a lot of people don't realize, but fundraising is pivotal in being able to, take our great care and the, putting patients and families first and really make that quality enhance. Fundraising is there, and 100% provides the funds needed for things like our family life and our child life programs, which enhance the experience that people have while they're in the hospital. So that's the pet therapy and the music therapy and the child life specialists that sit with your child when you are not allowed back into the exam rooms, things like that really take a pediatric facility like Children's, to the next level. And I think a lot of people don't understand, that's not something you can bill to insurance. That's not something that is covered by most insurance. So, we have to, that's where philanthropy comes into play. And, why programs like Extra Life are what really drive those programs to be able to exist. So.
Well, you're making this way too easy on me. So, you're leading me right into my next question, which is, as far as gaming and recreational activities go, sort of on premises,
yeah.
What kind of diversions does a children's hospital facility provide for patients and I guess maybe, like you said, to a greater extent, the families as well?
Sure, absolutely. This is like my favorite thing to talk about too. So I'm glad you asked. But I think, a children's facility, well, our children's facility at Pittsburgh at least, has really taken into account all of the family's needs, and going from, creating easy to navigate parking lots to a sibling center. As soon as you walk into the lobby, they can, if a family of, maybe 4 or 5 children comes in for one child's needs, the other children are able to go and, go to the sibling center and play games and basically be babysat all day while they, their family members are getting taken care of. For inpatients, we have gaming units in each of the inpatient beds. So we really, we've gotten so many great donations from people like Microsoft. The employees at Microsoft in Pittsburgh not only raised the money to purchase, these gaming units, but they also came and installed them. And, it's just crazy to think that there's people like that are so selfless and, they want to help, and they know that gaming is something that distracts children, but it also, makes them feel like they're home a little. It's not like you're in this cold room and there's nothing to do. And, there's TVs and there's Xboxes, and we're getting iPads in a lot of the rooms now because of donations. So
wow,
it's definitely something that's kind of been pumped up the last year or two. We've been really trying to do some outreach because there's a lot of great research in distraction therapy and using these methods to get children to just feel more comfortable. And actually, our radiology department has great distraction therapy rooms that have cut down our sedation rates dramatically, in terms of making sure that the kids feel comfortable. And so when they're going to get an MRI, they are actually going on an adventure, in this, there's different themed rooms, and they have aromatherapy, and they have videos playing, and they have child life specialists that come in and, interact with the patients and, to keep them distracted so they're not, feeling like claustrophobic in these tubes, things like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the gaming and, recreational activities have just gone so far in the hospital that, I could sit here and talk to you all night about it. But it's definitely the number one priority of our family life and child life team to make sure that the patient, first and foremost, is comfortable and taken care of. And then also, the parents, the siblings, grandma who came in, does she have, a place to sit and stuff like that. So it's really, their number one priority, and they do an incredible job and making people feel comfortable and cared for, not just medically, emotionally.
Yes.
Well,
I think it's amazing. And even as adults, that creature comforts can really go a long way to making you forget about the sterility of an environment like that,
absolutely.
probably.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how much more that would be amplified as being a child,
Exactly. Like, the situation isn't scary enough as it is,
Yeah.
There's, other things to be worried about. But yeah, we really try to make sure that patients are as comfortable as possible throughout their, procedures or, whatever they're going through at the time.
Well, now I know that this isn't an exact science, but, just maybe for listeners' benefit, how much of a percentage do donations from events like this and the others that transpire throughout the calendar year, how much do they figure into the yearly overall operating cost of a facility like yours?
The hospital itself, I don't even, I can't even fathom how much they spend on a yearly basis. As far as, we have maybe this would be able, to compare a little bit, but we have a free care fund that benefits patients and families that cannot pay for their medical care. So that doesn't mean if you come in with, it does cover people without insurance, but it also will cover folks like, if they've got kind of this longstanding issue and they come in and their insurance is exhausted, this, the free care fund will cover their costs. We treat everybody regardless if they're able to pay. So last year alone, we spent over $36 million in free care funds.
Wow.
And we assisted over 36,000 families, whether it be, $10 or $1,000, ranging from, these huge amounts, but over 36,000 families were cared for. And that's all, philanthropy is a huge, huge part of that factors into being able to care for those children regardless, if they're able to pay.
Well, I think just as an aside, and this is just a comment, but, things like that, like not turning anyone away. I think that's been the age old question of, how do you call yourself an advanced society when you leave people out in the cold,
Sure.
And that is just incredible to be able to provide something like that. But, so you're relatively new to this sort of end of it, the Extra Life thing, but how much has the effort and response built over the past few years in regards to Extra Life?
It's really been incredible here in Pittsburgh. We have, we're obviously a very philanthropic community to begin with, but the numbers have jumped quite a bit. And my first year working on Extra Life was last year, and we had a huge jump in gamers towards the end of the, middle October. We had a huge jump, but, we're on track here to do much better than we did last year. And it's incredible, the reaction and, the emails that I've gotten from people, so excited to do it again this year, and they're going to tell their friends. And, we're kind of getting more people involved this year, different groups. I'm trying to learn more about, the community of people who game, and it's just, it's everyone. Everyone has a game on their phone or something that they can, entertain themselves with for a fundraiser like Extra Life. And so, it's just been great to see such a unique fundraiser like this be received so well in this community. So I'm getting excited. It's great. And, people like you are out there who are, helping to spread the word. And it just gets me excited. It's really catching on here in Pittsburgh, which I love.
Well, and I mean, this might just be projecting, but to me, I think that this is one of the few things. I think gaming gets a bit of a bad rap, like sloppy stained T-shirt in your parents' basement type of bad rap, Yeah. But I think this is one of the few things that we can do that's good to shatter that stereotype.
Oh, absolutely, and it's something as easy as playing games and asking people to join you in this mission of raising money for children's that I think is just so great. It's something that people can really, like you said, get rid of this stereotype, get rid of the live in my mom's basement and play video games 24 hours 7 days a week. So I think it's really something that a lot of people are excited about nationwide, and everybody can get involved. It doesn't have to be only on Wii or only on Xbox or anything. It's yes. Whatever you have fun with. So it's going well.
Now, do you have any gaming on your resume? And
on my resume, well, not a ton. This was when I was asked to help with this program. I was a little nervous at first, but I did play my fair share of Mario Kart and those games in college. But I was actually really excited about it, and so I will be gaming a bit for the weekend of October 20th. But I really hand it out to you guys who who are making the difference out there. I'll be cheering you on. I don't know if I can, do it for 24 hours, but
it's rough. It's rough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that people, commit to this, and we're having, I think this is a little later you want to talk about, but we are having an event at the hospital with the kids, so I'll definitely be with them as well. So.
Well, now we've had a few, phone conversations over the past few weeks, about creativity in terms of fun ways to raise money. So what are some of the other ideas that gamers have been suggesting to you, like the ones that have reached out and things like that?
We've had a lot of, people ask, how can I reach more people, or, what can I do, to raise this money? And I think it's been cool hearing what people have done in the past. And so one of our groups from the Best Buy out in Greensburg, they actually, this is obviously for a larger group, but they shut down their installation bay at the actual Best Buy, and they gamed for 24 hours. The staff, friends and family, they got food donated. They had friends and family come in, and they really just, they played games for 24 hours, and it was incredible to see something like that. I went out and visited with them for a bit to see their setup, and it was really incredible. And there's another individual who is actually not out of Pittsburgh, but he chose to play for Pittsburgh because of the treatment that his niece received here at Children's. But he is streaming. I'm sure you're more familiar with this than I am, but he's streaming himself gaming. I'm not sure what the game is. Yeah. But then he'll put that online, and people are making donations to be able to access this streaming.
Yes.
Of him playing video games, and it's incredible the creativity people have kind of come up with in order to go outside of their typical network, of Facebook and friends and families and colleagues to attract people to this type of fundraising. So those were two things that really were just phenomenal to me, that people could think of these ideas coming to life and everything like that. So those were really great conversations that I had with those folks to get money going and coming to the hospital. So,
well, now, are there any ways that you would advise, now, and maybe not just for Extra Life, but maybe just fundraising in general, to someone who perhaps wouldn't have a lot of potential donors around them to raise money? Let's say they live in an isolated area, or something like that. I mean, I say maybe don't have a phone or something, because I don't think there's anybody left like that anymore. But any ideas that way?
Sure. I mean, I think, and I've heard this from a few people that I've talked with that are kind of, if you get stumped with your fundraising, or, you've kind of exhausted your your network of asking people to give. I think asking people to join you in raising money as an ally. So, asking more people to join you in Extra Life and to create their own teams, because, multiple people's networks is greater than your own. And I think that's something that has really caught on nationally for, maybe you shouldn't just have a donation goal, but maybe you should have a gamer goal. How many other people can you get to join you on your team, or, create their own teams to really get out there and, do some more canvassing of their own networks. Because you can send emails to people, or you can go out and put signs up in the neighborhood or whatever, you've done. But there are other people that can reach beyond your network. And I think finding those allies and encouraging them to join you is something that's going to make a big difference.
Now, you alluded to before a little event that you have going on the day before, and there's a software development house in the South Side in Pittsburgh who recently got in on the Extra Life sponsoring fun, and they're going to have a mini marathon of sorts. Am I right?
You are correct, yeah. Shell Games in the South Side is our local sponsor for 2012, and they generously made a donation and are joining, our forces, and I think they have last time I checked, they had at least 2 teams of their own with their employees. Their staff actually wanted to get involved, and so they've created their own teams. But some folks from Shell are coming into the hospital on October 19th, and they are kind of hanging out with the kids for a couple hours. They're going to play some games and just kind of see what it's all about, why they're really doing this, and why it's important to, sponsor something like Extra Life and to keep it around, here in Pittsburgh, and have some fun. So that's what we have planned for the 19th. Hopefully we don't tire them out before the 12th again.
That's what 5-hour energy's for.
Yeah.
It's just
we'll be fully stocked with those.
Yeah, you need 6 of them. We actually have some podcast buddies down in Oklahoma that are working with their local health system down there, and they're actually doing a mini marathon with the kids for like 6 hours, and they are having the whole thing slapped on flyers on pizza boxes going up, and I think they're going to stream the whole thing. I guess they have it in a certain section where it's where the HIPAA laws don't apply, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And it sounds like an awesome little thing that they got going on. So, yeah, it's Extra Life. I'm so impressed at how it's catching on.
It really is. It's exciting to see how many people we keep kind of attracting to this kind of fundraiser. And, obviously we'll always do the face-to-face fundraising and the events like that. But this, online is such a vast network of people that we couldn't reach, kind of in the region, in the area. And, you being able to network with the folks in Oklahoma and getting ideas like that. I mean, that's the beauty of it,
Yes.
Really being able to catch on and kind of grow, which is incredible. So, and I encourage that, cross-referencing and, if there are any other people interested in Extra Life to, kind of get best practices from each other and, just get as many people as possible to kind of talk about it. I think it's a fun thing to talk about. I mean, we've been doing it for half an hour.
I know.
And, it's fun. It's a fun way to raise money for kids. It's just, it's one of my favorite things of the year. So.
Well, I can't thank you enough for taking a little bit of time out of your personal time, and I realize that your 9 to 5 is more than a 9 to 5, but, like I said, thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. My job is kind of to recruit and get the word out and, give you as much, support as you guys need. But you are the true people that are out there, raising the money. So I can't thank you enough for what you're doing.
Well, that's a lot of fun. And I think, like we mentioned earlier, it is rewarding, but, in closing, anything you wanted to say to the event participants or the donors themselves?
Thank you for joining us again this year. If this is your first time, please feel free to get in touch with me. I don't know if I can give, you my email address.
Yeah, we could probably do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would love to, shoot that out to people if you have any questions or, perhaps we can, get a small group together and see what we can do to do some more brainstorming. But if anybody would like to talk about it, it's like I said, one of my favorite things right now. So I'd love to talk about it anytime. And just thank you so much. It really does make a difference, and it really does help the kids. And we can't say thank you enough for people like you. So
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Amanda. I appreciate it.
thank you. This was great. Thank you so much.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Sounds like she's got a really great job and kind of loves it.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I know. She seems to be very grateful to be able to be doing the work that she's doing. So that's pretty awesome, I gotta say. All right, Dan. So we got a bunch of things in from various listeners, and you can just go ahead and take the first email from Mr. CP Matthew.
Okay. Well, he says, "What up, Gamesmen? Just a quick note to say 3 things. First, while it's true that the home theater equipment is all low voltage, it is the current that will kill you.
See?
Yeah, I know. High voltage will leave you with some nice scars to look good for the ladies.
I don't know if those are the good kind of scars or not. But
No. Depends what you place those electrodes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Second, I agree with Dan. The Lego people should never talk. See, I told you. As part of the charm of the series was that the player was familiar enough with the characters and the stories to fill in the words, and the writers were free to poke fun at it through expressions.
And see, I do agree with that to a point. And I still have only played like half of that first mission in Lego Batman 2 because my wife is just completely resistant to the idea of playing another game before you 100%ed the first one, and we're never going to 100% it. I'm trying to tell her. Oh. She's like, can we go back and play the first stage for the 300th time, please?
I think we missed one Lego block. No!
Oh, God. It's a lot of fun. And believe me, I am thankful that she's taken the time to play that with me, but whoa.
Yeah, there's replayability and then there's grinding.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that.
Third, the demo for XCOM Enemy Unknown is up on Steam. I am pumped about this game as the original is still one of my favourites. Not sure about the multiplayer, but really looking forward to the campaign. Later, CP. Now, I haven't got a clue about that game.
And neither do I. But if it is sort of RTS or, some kind of strategy like that, that's an automatic turn-off for me, basically. And you would think, like, I am the ultimate micromanagement minutia guy,
Yeah, you'd think you'd love stuff like that.
I know, and I don't. I don't know why.
It's just as soon as you're asked to do stuff like that, you're like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm the guy who will completely, play the stat optimization or role-playing games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that stuff. But, I've been thinking about it, and I'm sitting there, and I've come to the conclusion that I think I'm gonna play XCOM demo. I think I probably should. Only because there's not many demos that you get on Steam anymore.
Yeah, there has been some kind of lack of demos there recently.
Yeah, and plus I kind of want to be in on the conversation a little bit. So, and at least, even if I'm not interested in it, I can at least, fill in the blanks in a conversation. So. Yeah,
and not act like you haven't got a clue what people are talking about.
Yeah.
Like we are at the moment.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, CP. I think I am going to try it. But, we had another one come in from, Entropicurity from Chris. He says, This is the Chris show so far, apparently. Well, I am unsure if you had a chance to get your hands on the game yet or not, but any impressions on Torchlight 2? Torchlight 2. If not, is it something you plan to check out? Did you enjoy the first game? Well, Dan, we talked a little bit last week. Actually, a good bit about Torchlight 2. Have you had a chance to get back into it since then?
No, I haven't. I've been playing.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Dan, have you elected to have a chance to get back into Torchlight 2 since then?
No, I haven't. I've been playing some Guild Wars 2.
Yeah,
surprisingly. Yeah. I'm kind of getting a little bit burnt out with Guild Wars 2, so I will play a bit of Torchlight 2 before next show, because I've got to level 80, and it's going to take me so long to get my skills up to get the armor and weapons that I need.
Yeah.
I can't be asked with that grind at the moment.
Well, I had a chance the other night to play some 5-player co-op with, I think it was Indifference and Tiny 415, Kiribatashi, and I think one of Kiribatashi's friends. We had a chance to go through it, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I have not a clue of what the hell's going on in the story at all. All I know is, cast spell, enemy crumples up, falls on the ground, dead, done. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Did it turn into a massive AoE spam fest?
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. I mean, we even put it on veteran, and, I was getting my behind handed to me pretty good. But, it was still a lot of fun. I mean, all I did was spam Ice Storm like crazy, and, that was about it. I mean, that was the only thing that really saved me, was the fact that I was using some ice spells that slowed enemies down, and things like that, so. But it was still a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun to get on with those guys, because they're always a hoot anyway.
Yeah, cool.
So, well, and here's another thing. We talked about this maybe about a month ago when we talked about Steve Jobs' ghost and stuff like that. And assuming that isn't something you wanted to talk about, what are your thoughts on the OuYa Linux gaming console? So, have you had a change of heart since then, or?
Yeah, well, I'm still kind of interested. Isn't it Android?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still kind of, I don't know. I'm interested in more of the hardware rather than the games, I think. Yeah, I'll probably pick one up.
I'm still super skeptical on how the business model is going to work. I just don't understand it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really worried about it for gaming. I just like the idea of being able to, XBMC on it, stuff like that, turn it into, a media hub in my bedroom.
Well, but I mean, and even that, you could even do that for a heck of a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I could just, buy a Raspberry Pi for £26 and it does that easily. But gaming on it's a lot harder. So, I might want to play something at some point.
I don't know. I just think that it's going to fragment the Android market, and
yeah, I can see that. Although it is fairly fragmented.
Well, I know it's not the most cohesive experience right now, is it?
No.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess
you don't have a Tegra chip, so you can't play this.
I know. I don't know. My dual core OMAP seems to run stuff pretty well, so in my Macs, but yeah, I don't know. I'm anxious to see how it's going to follow through, because we haven't seen the first Kickstarter campaign that fails, that people put money into and nothing ever comes out of. Yeah. That's, I think that's going to be a huge factor obviously in people's confidence in, Kickstarter type projects.
Yeah, and it's going to happen.
It's going to. It's only a matter of time. But I don't know. I mean, I wish that there was a way that they could, kind of divulge a little more information about it, but there's probably a lot of it that they need to keep secret for patent and copyright type of, situations and things. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I think that's probably, if you want to get in on something right now, I think the people that have purchased them, that have kickstarted it, are probably just the hipsters to say that I had this before it was popular.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm anxious to see what comes of it either way. I think a second generation OuYa might be something to look at, I think.
I just want to kind of hold the controller and see what that feels like more than anything, I think.
Yeah.
That controller looks pretty cool.
Brushed aluminum and stuff.
Yeah.
And a touch
screen. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, touchpad rather than screen, isn't it? Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Chris. We appreciate the email. And, man, it is time for the blast from the past section of the show.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, well, this one comes from the one and only Simon D. Ivanov.
Holy crap! Where have you been?
I saw him on Facebook or Twitter the other day, and I was like, "Wow, he's still around."
I know. No.
I've not had a chance to game much at all lately, but I did play Sleeping Dogs, and it's basically the illegitimate love child of Shenmue and Yakuza. I love it. I've seen the box art.
That's pathetic. I've seen the box art too. I haven't played it. I'm not a Grand Theft Auto guy. I mean, I think we've already established this.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's part of me, and only because of the high-res texture pack, I might want to play these lethargic canines, man. I might want to check it out. I don't know. You know, like I said, I'm kind of waiting for Christmas. All I want for Christmas is a stocking full of Steam gift cards, man. That's it.
That would be cool.
Oh, yeah, it would be really cool.
Yeah, I'd go for a stocking full of Steam gift cards and some hardware.
Yeah.
Buy it all.
Yeah, new video card by itself just ain't gonna cut it, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Whole new rig.
Let's kickstart Dan a CPU fund. Yeah. Kickstart that. All right. We had the last one in a tweet from Pete Red Dog. He says, "Hey, listen. What do you think of FTL?"
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Guild Wars 2 recently.
Okay, so I figured I would do my homework on this, and I watched some footage of FTL. And everything that they talk about sounds really cool, right? But then it's a strategy game, kinda. And right there I check out.
Yeah, I guess it's a kind of spaceship sim with fighting, and yeah, it could be kind of cool. Not your cup of tea at all, is it?
No, it really isn't. But you know what I dig about it? Like, just strangely dig about it?
What's that?
Is sort of the aesthetics to the menus. It looks like a Sega Genesis 16-bit RPG, man. It looks great. Like, I really dig the user interface.
Yeah, it's looking like something that I've played before. Well, I'm just having a look at it now. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think I'll have to give it a go. Yeah. It looks like something that I can, I'll play it. I think I'll just play that for 10 minutes, and then 3 hours later, I'll probably come up with a there and think, what am I doing with my life?
Oh, all right. Thank you all very much, gentlemen. Thank you for your community input. We do appreciate it. So thank you. Dan, how about some shout outs?
Yeah. Another one to Gary Amorous89. He's sponsored me again. So, wow. Cheers, man. That's awesome. And I thought I'd give Superstylus and Kryptonians a bit of a shout out because they've been super nice on Twitter recently. So, hello.
Oh, I got a ton this week, man. Just sit down and get comfortable for a bit.
Okay.
Obviously, first off, I want to thank Amanda Olar from Children's Hospital, from the Children's Hospital Foundation. Thank you very much for taking the time to sit down and really explain to listeners where their money goes and how their donations affect, care at these children's hospital facilities. That was just awesome. And she was great, Second, Amherst89 again, he donated to me for a second time and got some more entries into the sort of raffle that I'm putting up for one AAA game of your choice. So, every $5 goes in to the kitty, and you get one entry into the raffle. So, the Real Defoe, man, we got a new teammate too.
Oh, sweet.
They joined our Extra Life team. So, yes. So Gary D. Felice, excellent job. Kudos, sir. And then also Master Germ, Indifference, Super Starless, Kryptonians, Gamer Girl 27, Sea Fox 27, Teflon 212. Thank you all for the retweets and the kind words on the shows and things like that. So thank you very much for your support. And every week, VGHub.net, we got some new members over at VGHub.net. Destination Gamer, we probably mentioned them before, but I still wanted to give them a shout out again. And No BS Gaming. So, couple of new members over there at the VG Hub. It's growing at a really nice, robust pace. So
yeah, go check them out.
Yeah, pretty awesome. All right, Dan, what for the week to come? Where is this one place that you're going to be for the next 7 days?
It'll be sitting in this chair playing Guild Wars 2, so that's Hardlydan on Twitter. Everywhere else apart from Guild Wars 2, which is Hardlydan. Can't remember the rest of it. 0.4219, I think.
Yes, it is. I know it by now.
Well, I don't have to look for it.
With your new microphone.
Yeah. Pop through.
Excellent.
What about you, Steve?
Oh, yeah. For me, it's JSSLIFELIKE pretty much everywhere. That's Steam, that's Skype, that's Twitter, that's Xbox Live sometimes, but not really. And, yeah, you know, I guess if I'm there, I'm there. If I'm not, I'm not. But, I've been playing the snot out of my Wii, and I'm thinking about really trying to wrap up some Wii games over the next, month or so. I'm thinking.
Yeah, you've got a good period in, about a month's time to get some of them done.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to wrap some of them up during Extra Life and stuff too, even though I know that we're gonna have, a good bit of Guild Wars 2 and, so. But, anyway, yeah, that's about it. That's me. So, Dan, go ahead and pay the bills.
Okay, well, we've got a new like on Facebook. If you haven't looked at our Facebook page, go and have a look. Click the like button. We'll read your name out. Just like Ravi Kushwaha did. I don't get it. I can say that name. But, Shenmue, for some reason, couldn't say it. What's going on? Anyway, you can catch us on Stitcher, a site that I've never actually used, so apparently we're there. Go and have a look. Woo.
You should just download the app on your phone, on your
I
abnormally huge
use
phone.
Dogcatcher, and I don't need everything twice, so... Extra Life, we've been talking about that a lot this show. If you'd like to sponsor one of us, we'd love it if you did. Go to extra-life.org/team/VGHub Team 2012. Pick your favourite podcaster from the entire VGHub team that's actually playing it, and give them some money.
Yeah.
Well, don't give them some money, but, sponsor them. We'd like some more voicemails, wouldn't we, Steve?
Yes. Yes.
If you want to get in contact with us, you can call the RPG hotline at 412-267-RPG1. That's 412-267-RPG1. Or you can email us. Our email address is thegamesmanrpg@gmail.com. Our Twitter account, if you fancy tweeting us, is @thegamesmanrpg. We've got a few new followers. Actually, one seems like he should have followed us ages ago. And that's @OC_CP Matthew. Where have you been? The next one is @Natalith14. That's NATALITH 14. And a gamer photo a day.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Check that one out. So yeah, thank you guys for the new follows. About time for some of you. Okay, you can also listen to this show if you're at work or something and you don't have access to anything other than YouTube. You can check out our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/thegamesmanrpg. I'm noticing a theme here.
Yeah, kinda.
We haven't got any new subscribers to the channel, so it could be you. We could read your name out.
It could be you. Oh God.
Yeah, you won't win anyway.
Yeah, nope.
Don't forget, if you do use iTunes, please leave us a review. They actually do help kind of get the show going a bit. So the more reviews we get, then hopefully more listeners, and you never know.
All right. Yep. Thank you very much, Dan. That's it. So obviously for episode 87, the overarching theme was Extra Life, and if you are on the Extra Life team, I've sent an email out, and I want you to try to get in touch with us. We want to have you guys on the next few weeks. So if you are on the VGHub team, then please get in touch, and Dan will get you in front of a microphone, or I will get you in front of a microphone, and we'll let the listeners meet their Extra Life participants and who they could potentially donate to. So, all right, Dan, that's going to do it, buddy. So on behalf of Hardly Dan, I am Lyfeliek, we're the Gamesmen, and until next time, we ask,
what role will you play? Anyway, he says, I've not had a chance to game much at all lately, but I did play Sleeping Dogs, and it's basically the illegitimate love child of Yeah, let me put the teeth in. I have not had the chance to play... what's wrong with me today?
Oh, you've made the first outtake at least, I know that. You know how when you're playing an action RPG and you sort of do a special move or you do some kind of some kind of function of the battle system where you need to be automatically swinging the camera around as it's going on?
Yeah.
It just sometimes it just...
God damn it. I forgot about that alarm.
That's okay.
That's my take your pills alarm.
Not fully satisfied with this podcast, please return any portions for a full refund.
So you can run and tell that, homeboy.